Most of our MPs in Parliament still haven't woken up to the threat of cultural Marxism and the virus of wokeism that are destroying the lives of our children. But one MP, Andrew Bridgen, decided to speak out. Okay, so this week's Prime Minister's Questions was the perfect opportunity for the new Reclaim Party MP, Andrew Bridgen, to use his opportunity and platform to speak out against the woke schools, far left mentality that's going on, brainwashing our children, destroying their future, and of course, putting their lives at risk even right now when it comes to basic health, mental health, and physical health, especially with the pronouns nonsense going around. Now, if it were not for Prime Minister's Questions as a session, if it was a normal debate, I can assure you the members of Parliament in that chamber would have left the room. But they had to be forced to stay because that was the whole point of the session, to make sure that, the Prime Minister's there to answer questions. We're going to have to stay, and everyone is watching across the country. Let's go to Andrew Bridgen. He asked a question from the Prime Minister about this issue. Pay attention to Suella Braverman sitting right behind Rishi Sunak when he answers. And you can see in her face, she's not too happy about Rishi Sunak's response. But at the end, she realizes, well, all the cameras are on her, so she has to nod. Like, yeah, well, this is a good point that Rishi is making, but still not convincing. Watch this.
Mr. Speaker, does the Prime Minister agree that it's completely inappropriate for schools to encourage young people under the age of 18 to socially transition, for example, by changing their names and their pronouns? All this is going on without parental consent or even knowledge, in breach of parents' human rights. Will the Prime Minister instruct the Department of Education to order schools to stop indoctrinating our children and to concentrate on their duty of care to protect them?
It's a very good question, especially when it comes to the consent of the parents, because society has completely changed now. We are going towards even more big government and nanny state, where you as an individual and your body belong to the state now. Physically, it's the NHS that owns your body. When it comes to your well-being, if you're a child, then it will be teachers and the schools, not the parents anymore. They will be the parent. The state will be your parent going forward, and they don't even have to ask permission from the parents. They don't even have to give them any sort of warning. So let's see what the Prime Minister has to say.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I've been very clear that when it comes to matters of sexual education and PHSC, it is absolutely right that schools are sensitive in how they teach those matters and that they should be done in an age-appropriate fashion.
So let's face sensitive.
The Department for Education is currently reviewing the statutory guidance and curriculum that goes to schools so we can tackle this particular issue, because there have been cases raised with the government and others where this has not been the case. I don't think that's acceptable. We must protect our children, and that's what our new guidance will do.
Beginning of the answer when he was talking about, the schools and teachers must be slightly more sensitive about this. Basically flip-flopping. It's fence-sitting. That was when Suella's face was like, what is he talking about? We need to go more robust. But I can't say anything because I'm Home Secretary and they're going to sack me. But they're going to sack you anyway. That's the whole point of this witch hunt against you, Suella. They're trying their best to get rid of you. But they are so scared of sacking you because Rishi Sunak knows the moment she becomes a backbencher, she's going to start her own rebellion and she's going to do a leadership challenge potentially, or wait for him to fail at the next election and then kick him out. And then they want us to think that, it's just one Tory happy family. The cabinet are very united. The parliamentary party, very united. The whole of the Conservative Party, very united. Very on message, right? Just sort yourself out. The whole country is waiting for one competent political party. Just anybody at this point would do, as long as they're not complete nutters. Basic competence is lacking right now in the chamber. And basic lack of conviction as well. Now, imagine if it were someone like Margaret Thatcher, even if you disagree with their policies, if she were there standing there answering that question. You could easily imagine. She would not do fence sitting. She would not just be like, we're going to look into it. We're going to make some change. I think the teachers must be slightly more sensitive about this. She would just kick him out. You can't deal with this in a soft manner. You have to get robust. You have to sort out this trade because again, people's lives are at risk, children's well-being. And you expect the whole society to remain calm and collected, and everybody's going to turn out fine. If you're not seeing this TikTok influencer, TikTok prankster, what I would call him TikTok criminal, Mizzy, who's been going around causing trouble and filming it and boasting about committing crimes. And that's where we are now, society. Because there's no law and order. There's no respect for law and order. There's no respect for basic discipline in the country. So, kids are getting destroyed, and we're going to continue the cycle of doom until we do something about it, ladies and gentlemen. Well, on this channel, we'll continue to report the truth. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.